Hello there guys, welcome back to another live stream. My name's Mike, aka Decimal Punked, and we are in the Unreal Engine 5.5.4. I can't remember what I did on the last stream. I think I was doing... Oh, that's it. I was doing some fixes and implementations to the medieval level of this group project game. So this is my group project for university. There's going to be quite a lot of dev over the course of this week. This stream, I just need to recap. What we're going to be doing right this moment is we're going to be importing the sound effects for the World War I level. We are going to import and update the bunker assets, and then we're going to be rigging a soldier. The soldier, we have the models. I just need to basically rig it and attach the gun, sort the animations, and that's going to be it. Then I'll stop for a food break, and then I'll be back with some more dev. So there is one thing I need to do quickly, which is to import an asset for the bedroom. Ooh, bear with me. I just want to bring this in quickly. Right, so props. This is what we're interested in. This book, SM book open. So basically, if I just show you the sequence for the bedroom. Welcome to the stream, guys. What happens here is you can see that the book, the model of it, it's not completely flat, so the text, it doesn't sit completely flat on the book, so I requested that to be flattened out so it just looks better, because you can see there on the right hand side where we've got this line on the model going down. You'd expect that text to be angled, so the model we should have should be updated so this is all flat, so the text looks luscious. So we're gonna go into bedroom props, and if I just come down here, hopefully we should see the change. Oh, give me a minute. Oh, this is going to be a bugger. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to temporarily put it out here. Look at that. There we go. Sorted. Completely flat. Alright, so we're going to save that. And we're basically going to do that, and if I drop it in there, will it allow me to overwrite it? I hope it will. No. What a pain in the arse. I'll tell you what we'll do. We will copy these coordinates. We will get rid of the book open. I'll get rid of those. Asset references, bollocks. Right, I know what the problem is there. basically the bedroom. Hold on, if I save that and then try again, the bedroom one should disappear. There we go. So it's just a background drift spawner, guys, and basically object spawner. This is because where was it? There was an array. There we go, spawned prop. Background drift spawner. Drift prop. Is it that one? Where the fudge was it? There was an array that had a list of all the items to spawn. Oh. Background drift spawner. Right. Spawn prop. Spawn area. There we go. Prop meshes. There we go. Okay, there it is. The book open. Okay, so that's the reference there. So if I just said none. We don't want to delete it, actually. There we go, right, sorted. Right, get rid of that. And then save, move that into book open. Go in there, drop that in there. Copy the coordinates from earlier. So the X is that. The Y is that. And the Z is that. There we go, much better. So now the words are actually, they're actually on the page. That looks a lot better now, just having that flat. Perfect. Save that, and then we will add an element to the array, which is going to be book open. And let's put that back into the drift spawner. What I need to do as well is just go onto the bed, and you'll notice underneath there's no face. So what we need to do is basically just get those three materials and say they're two-sided. So then what should happen is the underneath of the bed should be rendered visible. So two-sided, apply, save, and then that one, two-sided, apply, save. Right, that's still going to need a face underneath because we're not seeing the wooden base. I'll just send this to my artist. Bear with me, guys. Okay, so I've sent that across to the artist for the bed. So we've imported the corrected book model. Just bear with me 1 minute, guys. Props book. So I just need to file as I go. Sorry, I've got so many little jobs with this project. Bear with me. Right, the book's filed away. Lovely. Oh. There we go. Sorry. Right, so that's the book in. Right, so the book's in. What's the next job? I could just do the sound effects quickly, get those all done. Import sound effects, update the bunker, rig the soldier. Okay, let's get that done. So audio, sound effects. Right, so we're going to need a new folder. I should have a foot sound effects for World War One. There we go. It's a bit quiet, but it is there. Thank you for the spam view, breadwinner. I'll allow you, chat. Okay, so we've got the first steps of World War One. Audio, sound effects, UI. Have we got an audio cue for that? Right, let's do it. Okay, so I do have some music, so that is the audio for the bear with me. I know I've turned off the music, guys, just bear with me. Medieval music. Okay. So we're going to bring in the World War One ambience. We're going to save that, and then we're going to create a queue and call this sound queue World War One ambience. This needs to be under, I would say, music. I'm going to put it down to 0.6. So it's under music because it is in the background, it's not really sound effects. SQ music, and then what we need to do is move that into sound queue. And then I just need to check the blueprint. Okay, event begins, spawn sound. Needs to be looping. There we go. So we just go do an event begin play, spawn sound. Oh wow. Check out the mortar in the background. Awesome. Okay, so that's the music playing. Music, right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to file away. It'd be good for me just to file away the sound effects as well, so what the fuck is going on there? Create a folder. Why was that being weird? Right, so we got the World War I ambiance. Right, next up is going to be I'm going to bring them in gradually, guys. Okay. So we're going to create a queue. It's going to be SQ grenade pull pin. And this is a sound class sound effects. Sound cue SFX. Sound cue grenade pull pin. Okay. You know what? I might make a folder for World War I, just, or else they're all going to get mixed together here. we don't need the footsteps of the jungle anymore. Right, so we've got the sound of footsteps and the music. The grenade pin will go in World War One, and then the smoke grenade itself SQ, smoke grenade, SC, sound effects. Just because I've got OCD. Okay, compile, save. Okay, so that's those two done. File those away. Nice. Okay, next up I'm going to do the mortar fire. So we've got 3 here. Okay. So basically, that's going to need to have an attenuation setting. So if we just minimize this, mortar 2. So that's all the way over there. What have they used? They used the ammo box. Okay. Alright, so our artist has modelled the actual mortar device. So that will replace the mortar. And then when it fires, what is it spawning though? Mortar projectile. Right, that needs to be changed. Because it's not firing a barrel. It's firing firing that. Alright, so we're going to drop this in to there. I'll go 1.5 on the scale. And I'm going to get rid of that. Why the fuck is off? Oh. Hold on. You can see it. It does. It happens really fast. But where it's firing from, I feel that visual effects needs a lot of work just to look a lot better than that. Just with the white, it doesn't look quite right. You can see in the background, you watch it go up, it does shoot fast. Okay, so we've fixed the model there, so we're now actually getting the mortar projectile. So that's what we're getting. Why was I in the level? What was I in here for? Ah, I think it was for the sound. That's why I was in there. Because I wanted to make sure that when it fires, when it spawns, we're playing a sound. So if I go back to here, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a queue, and we're going to call it SQ mortar fire. We're going to go in there, we're going to delete that, and then we're going to get this, drop these three in, and then we're going to do a random add an input. So basically it will cycle through all three of these. Okay, so the sound effect is going to be SQ sound effects. And then what we're going to have to do, guys, is make an attenuation setting for the mortar fire. So we've given it the correct sound class, so we're going to close that. And then we're going to, when it fires, what is the interval set at? 5 seconds. So every 5 seconds it fires. So on here, we're going to do a spawn sound at location. We're going to put this here. And plug that there and that there. And then we want it to play at this actor's location. Get actor location, so this. And then we're going to plug that in there. And the sound effect to be played is mortar fire. So I'm going to move that to the World War I sound cue directory. Mortar fire, sound cue, sound effects. And then what we're going to do is going to do an attenuation setting, guys. So this basically affects the distance between the player and the location and how far away they can hear it. So what I'll do is I'll just copy and paste the portcullis, and we'll rename this as mortar fire. Okay, and you can see here we've got the fall off distance. So what we'll do is we'll listen to it and see how it sounds. We'll adjust the values and see if we can just get that just right. So I am going to drop in the mortar fire attenuation setting there. We're going to compile save. We're going to pause the stream music and we're going to listen. Okay. Okay, what I think I might do is just temporarily not play that sound so I can listen Yeah, I can't hear that. The radius that defines when sound attenuation begins. Sound played at a distance less than this will not be attenuated. So if I said 2000, okay. Let's set this to 6000. It might need to be. You can see the distance there, guys. It's quite far. Actually, we can actually get the exact location. So if I click here, injured ally is on the Y. They're basically 0. So if we go to the mortar, you can see it's 10,000 away. So if we made that 11,000 fall off radius, we should be able to hear it. Oh, that's cool. Can you hear that? Let's just go to attenuation settings. So if I said 1,000, okay, I'm going to put it back to 2,000. Actually, I'm going to go 2,500. I'm going to go 2250. I'm going to see how 10,000 sounds. If I stand over here, it should get quieter. There you go, you can barely hear it now. That's perfect. Right, I'm happy with that. Okay, so that's the mortar fire. So we've got the attenuation, we've got that playing, Bing Bang Bosh. Sound effects, medieval, sorry, World War One. Okay, so that is the mortar fire done. Okay, so next up is the mortar explosion. So this is the impact where it hits. So what we want to do is just look at the code here. Explosion custom event. Where's that then? Fire vet begin. Where's... Where is this? Target is mortar projectile. Mortar projectile. Explosion. Trigger the explosion. Okay, so one problem with playing the explosion sound effect from in here and the mortar projectile is if we were to plug in the sound effect here, what will happen is it will play the sound effect briefly, but then because the actor that is going to be spawning the projectile, because that's getting destroyed, the sound effect would just get destroyed in the process because it would still be playing. So it's almost like we need to have something in here within the level to say play sound effect, so that way the level is always constant, so the level's not getting deleted. So spawn system location, so that's spawning Niagara effect. So basically in here, this is where we would play the explosion sound effect. So let's first off get in our sound effects, and this is mortar explosion, and audio sound effects World War One. Okay, cool. So I'm going to save all of those, and then we're just going to select one. Create queue, SQ, mortar, explosion. Ugh. Ugh. Mortar explosion. Go in there, delete that. And then we're going to get the mortar explosions, drop those in there. And then we're going to do a random node. And add 2 more inputs, plug these in. Save it. Give it sound class sound effects. And what we're also going to have to do here, guys, is have the... this is going to be tricky because we want the attention. It's like you want to say if the sound effect is... Oh, it's tricky, isn't it? Mortar projectile. Okay. Okay, I know what to do. I know what to do. Okay, so I was going to set that to 1. Okay, so class sound effects, the mortar explosion. So what we're going to want to do within the mortar projectile, so the mortar is the thing that fires and creates the projectile. And then when it's finished, we do the explosion, which is triggering this line of code. And then here is where we want to call the custom event from the level. And this way, because there's going to be multiple mortars, there's, I think, 3 spots where a mortar's being fired. So what we want to do is within the level we want to have a thing that will basically fire it. Let's create the custom event first. And we're going to call this okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to spawn sound at location, and then this we're going to promote to a variable, and we're going to say we're going to call this we'll turn it instance editable, and we're going to call this mortar explosion location. So we've now got that variable. So now what we can do is we can go into the level editor and set that. So we're going to spawn it at a location, and the sound to spawn is the mortar explosion. So we're going to drop that in there. We're going to move this into the sound queue, World War One, and then we'll do an attenuation setting for it. So I'm going to call this mortar explosion, and we're going to say 500, 2500. Actually, I've got to go 2000. Right, so that is the mortar explosion attenuation. Go back in here on the attenuation setting, drop in the mortar explosion. So basically we're going to spawn a sound effect at a location whenever this custom event is called, and a location is a variable, so we can set that variable from the mortar projectile before it's destroyed. So save all of that. We're going to go into mortar projectile, and we're going to get level, target self, get level, target self. There we go. And then I should be able to get that variable. No, that's not right. Game session. No. Get that up. The level's not an actor. We need to basically call this custom event. God damn! I think it's that one. Damn! Maybe it was script level script actor, maybe. Level script actor. Fuck's sake, all I need to do is access that variable. Level script actor. You know what? Let's just try this. I don't know if this is even going to bloody work. If I just get that and do set, if I copy that and just paste that in there. Oh, what a motherfucker. Because it doesn't know, like this could be any level. I'm not sure if I've got the right functions here, but we need to compile save. Is that maybe why? No, that shouldn't, because I already did that. Oh god, this is frustrating. What other options do we have? We basically need to set that. We just need to set that variable. But I need to access I don't want all actors. Get actor. Singular. Level instance. Is that not the right one? So what's that one? Level instance. I don't think that's bloody right either. Ah, guys, this is annoying. Get the level. Get the game mode, get the level. So is that... map. Jesus Christ. This is so fucking annoying. Got the variable in the war zone and the level. Level script actor, war zone, parent class, level script actor. Okay, level script actor. Right, so this is the correct one here. Level script actor. Warzone. No. Find the first actor in the world. So it's the level script actor. And then... So the mortar, this needs to trigger the sound effect, but we need to set the location. Okay, I've got another way of doing this. We could say that the mortar is the one that spawns the sound. If we made the mortar spawn the sound instead of that, that's a way of doing this. Bear with me. Let's just get rid of that. If I copy this and put that in the mortar. So mortar explosion sound effects. So that's now within the mortar. Compile, save. Mortar explosion attenuation, that. So if I make that a variable. Explosion SFX location. Okay, so that is a variable. So what we can do is say get parent. I think we're going to have a similar issue here. The sound's playing correctly. Oh, hey Shortcake, welcome to the stream. So if the mortar projectile is being spawned by that, we want to be able to trigger this custom event. Find the first actor in the world. We don't want that. We want to say get actors. Oh, get actors of class mortar. If this actor gets parent actor. If this actor was created by a child actor component, which is the actor that owns mortar. Fucking hell. We need to basically communicate to this blueprint from here. Fucking hell. Right, give me a minute, guys. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. So the mortar projectile explosion is there. So get active location explosion. Oh, that's the way of doing it. Okay. So where we're spawning, where is it? Spawn actor, mortar projectile. So I guess what we could do in here, the explosion, because that happens here when it's finished. So if I was to have a variable being set in here, so if I called this explosion location, set that as a vector, and then set that variable in here, move that up, and the get actors location, get actor location, plug this into there, move that up. So before we're destroying the mortar, we are setting the explosion location based on the actor location at the point of this custom event. So now what I should be able to do in the mortar, let's get rid of that, compile, save. It's going to be this. So we need to say God damn, it's tricky because it's getting destroyed. So I need a sip of my coffee. Oh! There's a few more sound effects to import, guys, but I just need to get this right because we've currently got the mortar's firing sound working correctly, but this explosion's important because it just is. So the mortar projectile, we set the location. So if I go back into here, if I was to promote this actor reference to a variable, and then we should be able to call that. So let me promote that to a variable, and we'll call this mortar projectile ref, and then do that and that, and if we just shimmy shanger it along, make room, as I like to say. Right, so we've got our ref there. So compile, save, and then what I can do is get that, and then we should be able to get the explosion location. There we go. And now we can say boom, spawn the sound effect there. So when it's finished, it does the explosion. So then what I can do is I can, at the same time, I don't actually need to play it. I don't actually need to connect it into the end of here before the projectile is destroyed. What we can actually do is just call this custom event from within this graph. Right, so that is mortar explosion SFX. Right, let's see if this works. It should work. I'm going to pause the music of the stream. Fingers crossed, guys. Okay, I feel that needs to be, the attenuation setting needs to be a bit larger, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the inner radius to 500 and do the fall off distance to 3500. I think that's nice. I'm going to put it down to 3,000. I'm going to go to 800 actually. That's good. I like that. So as we're close to it, it's loud. As we move away, I like that a lot. I'm happy with that. Okay. So we've got the attenuation sounding nice. So basically that means where the explosion happens, we're basically we're spawning. Yeah, so we're setting the variable of the explosion location at the point this custom event is called, which means we get the exact location where the bomb detonates. And then within the code for the mortar, when it's done its trajectory, when it reaches the end, we trigger that custom event, and at the same time we trigger the mortar explosion. But technically the event for explosion, that happens like, if I just bring that up one more time so you guys can see. Mortar projectile. So the code for explosion, it's doing that, and then doing that, and then doing that. But it's working though. So we're setting the variable, and then destroying it. But it is managing to retrieve the sound. This custom event here, the mortar explosion sound effect, it is managing to get the location before the actual projectile actor is destroyed. So it is working. So I'm happy with that. GG. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Let's go back to the audio. So, mortar explosion. Mortar explosion, and that is... Oh, I love this song. Sound class, sound effects. So, mortar explosion is done. I can file that away. GG. Get rid of that. Right, next up. Right. I've got a rifle fire. So this is going to be for the bad guys. So I'm going to bring that in. Rifle fire. So we're going to save that. We're going to create a sound cue. Of course, SQ enemy shoot. I'm going to call it enemy rifle. Fire. And then set that to sound effects. Let's go see what the modulator does to that. No, no, don't ruin it. Jesus. Okay. You guys are going to get fed up with these sound effects, I'm telling you. Alright, so sound class sound effects. I'm going to go 0.8. And then we're going to plug that into the sound cue World War One. So that is rifle fire. Now we haven't got the model just yet. That is literally what I'm going to do after I've brought in these last few. When I've brought in these last few sound effects, I'll be going into Blender to rig and sort the animations for the enemy character, and then when the programmers have implemented the logic for it, I can then connect in the sound effect and it will be wicked. Next up is the pickup ammo. Quite quiet. Let me just pause. Okay, we need to make that louder. Jesus. Right, let me just create a queue. So SQ ammo pickup. And go into here. Okay, so sound class, sound effects. So, right, ammo pickup, sound class, sound effects, done that. Ammo pickup goes into sound cue World War One. Ammo pickup. Rid of that. Right, next up is the revolver reload. Let's do the attack. SQ World War One player attack. Right, so SQ sound effects. I'm gonna do 0.8. SQ sound effects, player attack. Put that into World War One SQ, player attack gets filed away. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Right, I'm going to do the revolver reload. It's really annoying, it keeps open the content drawer. It's really annoying. Okay, so we're going to have this called SQ World War I Player Reload. I'm just going to pause the stream music, guys. Let's go for 2. And this needs to be sound effects. Perfect. Okay, so volume multiplier 2, reload. Move that into World War I. File it away. Right, next up. This is gonna be funny. This is gonna be funny, guys. Basically, there's a sound effect for the injured allies calling for a medic. So I think with a modulator affecting the pitch, this is going to be quite funny. Right. Let me save, create as queue. We're going to call this SQ ally call. Actually, I'm just going to do medic in capitals. You're going to find this funny. Right, so we're going to put that there. We need to do sound class sound effects. And then we're going to do a modulator. This is going to be quite funny. It's like a chipmunk. Right, so basically what that's doing... Oh, hey, Long Arm, welcome to the stream, bro. So basically what that's doing... Whenever you go near an injured comrade, that will play as a kind of an audio cue requesting help. So... Yeah, I'm going to stop playing that because it's getting on my nerves now. Right, so that's that one done. That goes in sound cue World War One. Right, next up, I've only got 3 more sound effects left to import. So we've got the player being damaged. We've got a heal bandage sound effect and the enemy flamethrower. The only thing I'm a little worried about is the 3 flamethrower sounds are different lengths. If I just hover over them, one's 2 seconds, another is 5, and another is 3. So we'll see how this sounds. What I'm going to do though, I'm going to bring in the player damaged sound effects. We're going to save all. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to select 1, and we're going to call this World War 1 player hurt. Or we'll call it damaged. And then we're going to set it to sound class sound effects, delete that out, and then we're going to drop in the player damaged. And then we're going to do a random node with 2 more inputs. And then I'm just going to pause the music so we can hear this. I might just do a modulator to see how that sounds, guys. I think that'll do for World War 1 player damaged. Okay. Move that into sound cue there. File that he's away. Okay, I'm going to do the heal bandage next. How you doing, Long Arm? You good, mate? You're terrible. What's up? I don't even need that. It sounds like someone ripping open a lettuce. Oh no. Wisdom teeth or something worse? Toothache is a bastard. I never get it. Very, very rarely, and I think it's a wisdom tooth pain. It's like the top left of my mouth, left hand side at the top. So I know the pain you're on about. Okay, that's the heel sound effect imported. Next up is the flamethrower. This is the last one. Right, now, as I mentioned, 3 of these, they're all different lengths. If I just show you guys, this one is... Oh, it doesn't really say. But basically, like, one of them is like 2 seconds or 1.5, another is 3, and another is 5. So... We've got it in there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to leave that. It's got sound class sound effects. The volume's been boosted. That's in there. So I am going to move that into that folder. And I'm going to file those sound effects away. Okay, so what have we done so far? We've changed the asset for the book. We have, thanks to the spam view Imperial. Thank you very much. Yeah, we've imported the book model. What else? Still something else. I've sorted out the mortar projectile, so it's displaying the correct projectile. We've sorted out the sound effect playing for the mortar and the explosion of it. We've created all of the sound cues for the audio files. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to see how it sounds actually with the ambient music and the explosions going off. That definitely needs reworking so it looks better. Yeah, okay, cool. That sounds good, having the thing there. Okay, so the next job is basically oh, there we go. Right. Okay. Right, so what we need to do, I have a number of assets to bring in. So we basically need to put on some walls. Oh, this is going to be tricky. Basically, this front section here, what we need here is we need a solid wall so that when this is hidden and they go inside the building, we'll basically hide this front face. But if I just do the ceiling first, so bunker exterior wall plane. Bunker exterior loophole wall. What is this one then? What the fuck? Well, I don't see anything. Right, there it is. An exterior wall plane. Okay. I'm hoping that's going to fit nicely. We're just going to drop this in. If I copy the location of that. Where the fuck is it? What the fuck? Where is it? What the? Right, okay. It's gonna be 200 probably. Fuck's sake. We're now going to get a Z fight in there. Excellent. Lovely. Lovely stuff. Gotta love a bit of Z fighting, guys. Okay, so I'm going to have to request the artist to basically trim that part so that we don't get the Z fighting. But as for the rest of it, we're going to have the same issue that side. It should be fine for these parts here with the ceiling. Problem is, like I say, so basically when the player goes into the bunker, we're going to be hiding this section, so it'd probably be best to do it as a blueprint and just have it as something like, I don't know, call it bunker toggle or bunker sidewall. I'm going to make a note of this. So make blueprint in World War One bunker sidewall, hide with terrain above ground when inside. Request artist trims side. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna basically duplicate this, and if I do it to 50, see, we're going to have the same issue here. You see that Z fighting we've got going on here, guys? That's where two faces, they're literally fighting for the same plane. They're both overlapping exactly at the same point. So it's going to need fixing. And why is that jabbing out? Jabba the Hutt. Okay. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to send this to the artist now, actually. Bear with me, guys. Sorry, I've got so many little tasks I'm doing here. Right. Let me just check. I don't really... It's where my cursor is. I'm hoping my cursor will get shown. Unreal is still utterly confusing to you. How come, dude? I can't remember if you're a modeler or if you're, you know, making games in Unreal or Unity. It's not that confusing. I mean, I prefer working in this to Unity. Right, sorry, let me just get back to business. So that was the exterior wall plane. Now, I'm not going to file that away just at the moment. I have made a job list to basically create a blueprint of this, guys, because in here, we've got this collision box. If I click on that, BP collision, we've got BP collision 2, which is in there, and then we've got BP collision. And in here, yeah, so basically we'd need to add in the code here that would also hide that wall piece. So at the moment, from when you approach the bunker, that's going to be like that. But what we would need to do is also toggle that invisible when we hide the above ground and go subterranean. So I'm just going to file this away, guys. Give me 1 second. So this is environmental, so exterior wall plane has been done. Right, I've now got exterior wall loophole. Exterior wall loophole. So is that one? Exterior wall loophole, it's that one. Okay. What's different about that one then? Why have I been sent that again? What I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in the ceiling actually. Right, let's bring in the ceiling. I don't think, what is this? Interior ceiling. Do we even have interior ceiling? Yes, we do. Where is that? That's under there. Right, I need to hide the above ground, guys. Right, that's there. Hold on, that wasn't the issue. What? Exterior. Sorry, I'm getting confused. Hold on. Exterior wall plane. Exterior wall plane, yeah. Interior ceiling, that's... Right, exterior. Exterior ceiling. Right, here we go. exterior ceiling. Right, so if we copy the location of that and drop in that and then paste that. Lovely. Right, now this should fit flush. Fuck's sake. Of course it doesn't. Oh my god. Why has it got a slanted angle? Never easy, guys. Right, that looks flush with that one. Oh, bro, come on. What is going on with the pivot? Why is the pivot? Right, lovely. We've got a gap and... oh, for fuck's sake. You can see that gap, you see that gets... oh, it's a little bit frustrating, I'm not going to lie. It isn't hard to do this correctly. Why has it been modelled that way? This vertex should be dead in line with that. This vertex right here should be straight in line with that. It shouldn't be dipping like that. Oh, this has got me anxious about the other bits now. Dropping them in and it just going... I'm really anxious about dropping this next piece in. I just have a feeling it's not going to align. I'm not too bothered about the back bits here. The player's not going to see those. I'm just going to leave those as they are. This front facing section is what the player will see. Just why has it been... right, tell you what. What is this? Exterior ceiling. Right, exterior ceiling. I'm going to file that one away. Right, what's the next piece? Because what I'm expecting, the fact that this ceiling has been slanted on the edge, I'm expecting this piece to marry up, or else it's just going to look shit. So, what is that? That's exterior entrance A. Right, I want you to pray for me, guys. I'm nervous. I'm nervous about this. Exterior entrance A. Exterior entrance A. So I'm going to drop this in. Okay, so the pivot. What the fuck? Oh my god, man. Nice bit of gappage there. Lovely. Fuck's sake. I am a busy bunny today. Oh, that's really frustrating. Right, okay. I mean, at least this piece has that corner here. I'm happy about that. Like I say, the player isn't gonna see... They're not gonna see the back parts of this, so I think it will be fine. So what was that? Exterior... Hold on. Exterior entrance A. Exterior entrance A. Exterior entrance A. And then I've got another one. I don't know why there's another one called exterior entrance B. I don't know why there's two. It's the same thing. Why have I been given an exterior entrance B? Why is there... I don't know why there's another one on there. Exterior entrance B. It's basically the same doorway, but without that slanted without that slanted section. But I really like that slanted section. Oh, I'm such a perfectionist. It really, I just can't. I can't relax knowing that it's not correct. It stresses me out. Really stresses me out. Right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dupe those, move them across. I don't feel there's any point in me putting in... There's not really any point in me putting in the sides yet because I want to make a blueprint of those, but I can't do that until I've got the wall pieces trimmed. Because it's going to be 1, 2, 3. If I zoom out, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So this section across here needs to be a blueprint containing those static meshes. So until I've got that, there's no point in me putting that in there. But the ceiling bit can stay in there. We've put the door in there. That bit's fine. Actually. No. I'm going to get rid of that one. Exterior entrance B. Right, so that was... Right, sorry guys, we're almost done with these components. What is that one? That's exterior wall loophole. Exterior wall loophole. Exterior wall. Exterior wall loophole. So exterior wall loophole. Sorry, I know I'm repeating myself, guys. Exterior wall loophole. I hope the pivot hasn't been fucked around with on this. Yeah, of course it has. And it's... Oh, for God's sake. What was the point of that? Nothing's been fixed on that. So that whole section there, that exterior wall loophole that I've just brought in, it doesn't have the same edge. That needs to be slanted. How annoying. Hold on, what's going on there? Jesus. Annoyingly, that edge has been done. But this bit... Like, why was this not consistent? Lots and lots of messages. Sorry about this, guys. Oh my god. Okay, right. That bit's fine. So that needs fixing. What is going on there? Fuck's sake. I'm gonna have to go all the way over there now, guys. I love a bit of Z fighting. And no, not Dragon Ball Z, Z fighters. Or the Z fighters. Right. Okay, so... what bit was that? That was... exterior wall loophole, wasn't it? Exterior wall loophole. Right, now there's another one that's been sent, just called exterior wall, but I'm pretty sure that's for the back section. And like I say, you can't... The player is never going to see the back section. They play the game where you see that nav mesh. They're basically playing on a fixed axis. The only parts they're going to see is essentially these parts at the front, really. So I'm not bothered about the back sections. So it's literally, we need this Z fighting fixed, which means one of these bits, we need a new version of that because the Z fighting is occurring on the edge here that you can see. And same here. And then this gap needs fixing. And this piece needs the slanted edge. So I've sent those requests across to the artist. I don't think those other I'm looking at my other models I've got. I'm not going to bring those in because we don't need those. So I'm going to leave those. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So that is those ones done. I did have some other assets to bring in. I've got some lights for the bunker. So if I go down here, so this is, what is that? That's the ceiling. So I'm going to leave those wall planes outside. I'm going to take these ceilings because those ones I'm happy with. We're going to move those to the bunker, and these ones I'm going to make into a blueprint. So, and then that blueprint will toggle the visibility of that on and off when the player enters the bunker. Right, what's next, Mike? What's next, mate? Let me see. Well, I've got some tent models. I've got the memory fragment. There's a couple of things here. I want to sort the bunker light. Now I've got the bunker lights which are going to go inside the bunker. So I think the best thing to do here is to first off just save all. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the tents and the ceiling light. And if I turn on the above ground back on, see my little, I literally made these in Blender in seconds. They're literally just very simple tent. So oh fuck's sake. Oh god, that's a little worrying. That doesn't have the texture. That doesn't have the texture of the mossy wall. That's gonna look weird. Why is it being labelled that? SM destructible bunker wall. SM, I know it's got it again. SM destructible bunker wall. Right, I'm just going to come in here. We're going to bring in the tent. There were issues with the import, of course there were. Right, let's check the model. Okay. I'm going to change the colour of that. I don't like the green. It's too plastic army man green. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag that here. And we're going to go, oh fuck's sake. I'm going to drop in material 16 instead. That's much better. Much better. And then if I get rid of the tent, And then... Bloody hell. How big is that? I'm just going to sink that in the ground a little bit. Right, now I am going to be sorting out the... scene lighting, guys, so it is consistent. Because at the moment we just got a really harsh light, but I'm gonna change that. Why am I doing this? I can just duplicate that. Is that above or in the ground? Okay, so we've got 3 tents there. There we go. Tents are going to need to move to props. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom, shake the room. And we're going to basically duplicate that and move it all the way to the end and then press F to focus. Okay, so we've got 3 tents. So I'm just going to basically try and match the layout that we've got here. There we go. Tents in. I'm still awaiting a piece that is this. I can't remember if that's been done or not. Just bear with me 1 minute, guys. OneDrive's been a teeny weeny bit slow. So I need to look for the piece that is this grey box here. So that's going to be environmental. Oh, we do have it. Why are there 3 versions? Okay. Is there some Z fighting going on there? Why is it minus 10 on the Z? I didn't do that. Fuck's sake. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to delete out this bit and move that. Is that in line? No. There we go. Right. There are two other variants, but the other ones, they don't have that ground texture. The only difference is there's wooden pallets on one side. Dirt layer. I mean, unless... No, it's got the dirt layer on there. Well, that's not really showing the texture. On that basis, I'm just going to duplicate these guys. Keep it simple, stupid, as they say. There we go. Okay, so we've now got tents at both ends, and we've got these bad boys. So what I might do, actually, I should be able to just duplicate these and just go whoop, straight to the end. And then I can get rid of my placeholders. So 1, 2 and 3. Get these 1, 2, 3. And move these into position. Oh, it's a little bit hard to see because the sun's so bright. Okay. That looks good now. Lovely. I'm happy with that. So I've got some nice little sandbag entrance there. What I'm going to do is I'm just actually going to check that model. What the fuck? Right, so that, you see the problem there with a simple collision? It basically means when the player walks on that, they're essentially not going to be touching it. So I'll show you how this is going to look. So if we get the player start, if I can spell, and then we're going to move this bad boy right down there. If we just move them like there, save and play, we're going to stand on there. Why am I taking damage? Why the fuck am I taking damage? Something's going on with the code on the mortar there. The mortars are the only thing that's going to be inflicting damage. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into our model for trench entrance V1. I'm going to get rid of these other ones because they're not in use. And we're going to go to complexity and say use complex collision as simple, and then you'll see there it should now be a lot smoother. The tents are actually a good height. I was worried that they're a bit too big, but Yeah, I feel that's good. Why the fuck am I taking damage? What the hell is going on there? This is also a monochrome level, guys. So it's going to be in monochrome. But the reason why we've modelled it in colour is because there's going to be an effect when you shoot a gun. It basically illuminates the area you're in colour. Oh, mate, I can't play this if I'm going to die. Right, so that trench piece is in. I think the last thing... right, I think the last thing I need to do... Where's the player start? Well, the last thing I want to do in level is basically put in the bunker light, create a blueprint, and just plug that in and see how it looks. Thank you for the spam view there, Charge. That's the third bot this stream. At least I got the bots with me. Yo, yo, Mr. Bot. Right, so the trench entrance, there should be 6 of those. We're going to move those to trenches. Because it's kind of trenches. This bit is pending fix from the artist. We're going to turn the visibility of the above ground off because we're about to just do the lights. Bear with me, guys. Okay, let's create a blueprint for the light, shall we, guys? BP World War I light. I'll call it ceiling light. So that's the bedroom light, that is the ceiling light. I'm just wondering, guys, because I've been going 2.5 hours, I did want to model the... well, not model, I need to rig sort animations for the enemy gunner. So what I'm thinking is get this light set up, put it in, see how it looks. Stop for food, come back, jump into the enemy rifleman, and then I want to sort the narrative level, which is basically, it displays the narrative. That can be the next job. Just because there's been a few issues with some pieces as I've been putting them in. Right, ceiling light. So what I need to do is I need to go into the assets, World War I props, and get my ceiling light. It's called bunker light. That looks nice. Pucker. I do feel that needs to be metallic though. That's too flat. So okay. Right, so the bunker light's in. I'm going to give that material an emissive glow. So it was a scalar parameter. And then we need a multiply node. So multiply that by that, and then that goes into the emissive. Okay, so now we've done that, we're going to go into this, and we're going to drop in the light. Why? That's a little worrying. Where is the center of origin on that? For fuck's sake. Oh, give me a minute, guys. Into Blender we go. Why has it been put there? There we go, fixed. So now it should be on the ceiling. There we go. Fucking hell. I'm having to fix so many little things. Oh, but anyway, it's done. Right. So that goes there. Now that is 200. If I do 200, if I do 0, if I do minus 200, it's on the edge. So yeah, 0's dead center. And then if we got this position of that, so 800, so that'd be 7,000. Should be dead center of that piece. Excellent. Lovely. Okay. I should have a folder. I'm hoping I've got a folder for block out. Lighting, there we go. Ceiling light, move to lighting. There we go. Okay, so now that we've got that in there, what we're going to do is we are going to bring this blueprint out. We're going to move the screen there so we can actually see the effect of what I'm going to be adding on here. So let's go for so we'll go for point light. We want that to go down. So if we have it inside the bulb, and then what we're going to want to do I'm going to give it 1200. Give it 175. And then the color of it, I want to be the same as the light itself. It only makes sense, it's the same color. So we're going to copy that, close that, cancel. I didn't change that material. Why is it being a bastard? There we go, look at that. Nice. That looks good. So then, if we compile and save that and close that, if I was to just like move that across, that's nice. So basically, these lights would just line the ceiling, just light up the area. So what I'll do is I'll just delete those two. We'll leave that one there. So that is the light done. I'm really happy with that. I quite like that. It's a nice model. And it casts the shadow of its kind of metal frame. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So let me just check the title of the stream, guys. Bear with me. Import sound effects done. Update the bunker assets. We've done that. A couple of changes need fixing by the artist. And then we were going to rig the soldier. So what I'm thinking is if I stop there and have some food, because we've almost been going 3 hours. We have done a fair bit of work. Give me about an hour and a half to eat and just have a little break, and then I will come back and we will rig the soldier. So I will be in Blender. I've got the model of the soldier and the gun. I just need to basically put in the armature. There was some issue before Easter where I was trying to, the bones weren't weighting to it, so maybe an issue with the model. But we'll do that. So we'll rig the soldier, animate it in Mixamo, and then we will be creating a new level which handles the narrative of the antagonist. So that's going to involve the animated character, drawing text to screen in the style of your typical RPG. If you just think back to the retro Game Boy days of like Pokemon, and how when you have dialogue with NPCs, it's just drawn to screen. So that's what we're going to do, and yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. So I'm going to call it there, guys. If you enjoyed the stream, feel free to give us a follow on Twitch to stay up to date. And if you want to see any previous streams I've done, go check out my YouTube below. I've got playlists for Unreal, Unity and Blender. And if you want to play any games I've made, don't forget to check out my itch page. The Caesar, the space game I made, is now complete and available free to play. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe, and I will be back in an hour and a half's time. Thanks for watching. See you soon.